Good evening. Welcome to Grand Blanc Township Board meeting for Tuesday, May 13th. If we could all rise for the pledge, please. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Clerk Robertson, would you please call the
I
roll?
would be happy to call the roll. Trustee Fike is absent. Trustee White?
Here.
Trustee Hugo?
Here.
Trustee Brown?
Here.
Treasurer Yancho?
Here.
Myself, of course, I'm here. Supervisor Bennett?
Yes.
6 members present, a quorum.
Thank you. And now I'll entertain a motion for approval of the agenda.
Motion.
Motion by
Second.
Mr. Brown. supported
Motion
Mr.
by
Yancho.
Brown, supported by Yancho on the agenda. Trustee White?
Yes.
Trustee Brown?
Yes.
Trustee Hugo?
Yes.
Myself, yes. Treasurer Yancho?
Yes.
Supervisor Bennett?
Yes.
6-0, motion passes.
Thank you. And now we will open the microphone for public comments. Anybody care to make public comment this evening? Seeing no public comment, we'll bring it back to the board. And we have this evening recognition, and our brand-new fire chief, Jamie Gent, will be sworn in as our new fire chief for Grand Blanc Township. But first, Mr. Limata, any words that, I know we had an exhaustive search, and maybe you want to tell us a little bit about what went into the search and.
Yeah, I mean, the nice thing is Grand Blanc Township has great reputation. I think people watch us and they see us made the investment to station number 2. We're investing in new station number 1. We're very serious about the services that we offer for Grand Blanc Township residents and surrounding areas through mutual aid agreements. We had over 32, I think, final candidates who had applied. It was a very competitive application process. Chief Gent rose up. We're awful glad to have him here. Just recently retired earlier this year from Dearborn Fire Department. Brings just an amazing wealth of knowledge. I can tell you that he has been here for 2.5 weeks now. Chief, does that sound right?
Seems longer.
And I will tell you that the proposals that he has brought forth to me are of the utmost professional, well-researched, well thought out, includes liability and legal considerations. It's a breath of fresh air from my standpoint to have somebody of his caliber come on and continue the long tradition of providing exceptional services. So I'm really excited to have him here, and if the last 2.5 weeks are any indication, the board should be very, very pleased with the decision to move forward with Chief Gent. I would expect to have another long, happy second career in the fire service. And the feedback that I've gotten from the men and women of Grand Blanc Township Fire are nothing but the utmost respect and excitement of having Chief Gent here.
Very good. We want to welcome him and his family here to Grand Blanc Township as well, so.
Shall I?
Yes, please. Clerk Robertson, now, if you and your family would like to come up, we'll administer the oath of office. So come on up and join them as well. Maybe if you want to introduce your family after, that'd be great, too.
If they want to give a 10 or 15-minute speech about you, that'd be great, too.
Congratulations, Chief. If you would, raise your right hand and repeat after me. I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of this state,
and the Constitution of this state,
and that I will faithfully perform
and I will faithfully perform
the duties of the office of Fire Chief
the duty of the office of Fire Chief
in and for the Township of Grand Blanc,
in and for the Township of Grand Blanc,
County of Genesee,
the County of Genesee,
and the State of Michigan,
and the State of Michigan,
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Very good. Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
On this line, if you would. Very good. Excellent. Thank you very much. Congratulations again. And I'll give you the floor if you want to say a few words.
Chief.
This is my wife Christy and my son Logan. They came up here to witness this today. It's a great honor to be named Fire Chief, Grambling Township. The men that I've been introduced to at the fire department have been the most professional that I've ever been a part of in the fire service. Deputy Chief Miracle has been a wealth of knowledge and support, and I can't say enough about him helping me adjust to the transition here. Megan has been a tremendous help, and she doesn't get enough credit for what she does on a day-to-day basis. She's a wonderful person and a tremendous amount of help, and I'm really looking forward to a long career here in Grambling Township.
Very
Thank
good.
you.
Thank you, Chief.
Very good.
Okay, thank you, and congratulations again. At this time, I'll entertain a motion for approval of the consent agenda.
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Ms. Hugo, supported by Mr. White.
Motion by Hugo, supported by White on the consent agenda. Trustee Hugo.
Yes.
Trustee Brown.
Yes.
Trustee White.
Yes.
Treasurer Yancho.
Yes.
Myself, yes. Supervisor Bennett.
Yes.
6-0, motion passes.
Thank you. Under new business, the board will consider a motion to approve the electrical installation quote for the new Township Hall emergency backup generator from Metcalf Electric for $89,575 and authorize the Township Superintendent to execute all related contracts, documents, and purchase orders. Good evening, Mr. Boggs.
Good evening, everyone. Before you tonight is the installation quote of the new township generator to replace the old diesel one up front. This has been a part of our capital improvement plan. Generator was purchased last February. It took almost a year to get in. When it arrived, we realized that it's a good opportunity to move it from the front of the building, since we do not know what this building will be eventually with your strategic plan for the future. So we want to move it on the north side of the DPW barn and run the electrical up to the existing location. This will improve our infrastructure here, replacing this generator. The current one, when it was put in 1998, I think November of 98. When we do lose power, it's pretty violent, and we've knocks the servers offline, it wreaks havoc. So upgrading this is vital, because all of our infrastructure for the police, fire, new DPW facilities are housed here, so.
Mr. Bogg, will this, so what buildings will this be capable of powering then?
This will replace the existing generator, so it powers this building, the DPW Barn 1, and the water tower.
Okay, so the police department has its own.
It has its own separate diesel generator that was put in when that building was built in 2007.
Is there any salvage cost? I mean, do we get anything back?
I'm going to push that out to Gov Deals and trying to get some worth out of it. It's a diesel generator. Somebody will buy it, and we'll
Right.
get it to the highest bidder.
Generators are tough to find right now, too.
They are.
Takes quite a while to get them, even when you order them. Any questions, Mr. Brown?
Yeah. Will the new fire station have its own generator? Okay.
Okay.
Is motion in order,
Yes, it
Mr.
is.
Supervisor? Then I will make that motion on item 8A,
Supported by Mr. White.
supported by White. Trustee White.
Yes.
Trustee Brown.
Yes.
Trustee Hugo.
Yes.
Myself, yes. Treasurer Yancho.
Yes.
Supervisor Bennett.
Yes.
6-0, motion passes.
Thank you. Item B, the board will consider a motion to approve a Metro Act permit application from Metro FiberNet LLC for the purposes of installing a fiber network throughout the township. Mr. Lemata?
These come to us infrequently. Typically, it's a telecommunications company who wants to put new fiber through. The last one we had was 123net. They put their fiber through, I think, a year ago or so. This one from MetroNet took us a while to get through their application process. The way it works as part of the Metro Act is they have to provide the application to the local government authority to place this in the right-of-way. We do not permit through the right-of-way, but we still get the application and are required to process it. We have 45 days from the date of application to either approve or reject. If we reject, we have to have a really good reason why. Typically, what I look for when the application comes in is just completeness. Are the people listed that we are going to contact? I always reach out to let them know that the actual permitting agency will be the Genesee County Road Commission, give them points of contact with them so that they know coming in that the reason that we get it is because of the Metro Act and local government authority. We obviously have our utilities of water and sewer in those rights of way as well, so we have an interest on where they're going to be doing any work. This one is a little more challenging because they weren't quite ready. They finally got their map together at the end and got it here really, I think, on Friday, so I can include it in the packet. Otherwise, we'd be having a different outcome. I was going to ask the board to reject this application for the lack of the routing map of where they intended to install their fiber. At the very last part, you can see the one that they included with a highlighted copy of an anticipated route. They can always change the route after they get through the permit. In fact, they're required within 90 days of completion to send us both a completed new map noting any deviations and also to the road commission and to the state. We had to act on this. My recommendation is to approve it. There's nothing in there that would cause me not to approve it. And, their intention is to put fiber through and offer additional telecommunication services to the residents of Grand Blanc. We have franchise agreements with AT&T, now Omni Fiber, and Xfinity. They're non-exclusive agreements, so anybody can really come in and ask to put a franchise in if they want to sell telecommunications, internet services, whatever. We haven't gotten a franchise agreement from these guys yet, but they're going to put the fiber through. They may just, like 123net, they just sold traffic on their fiber network.
I know we've had a couple of these enterprises come to us in Grand Blanc Township, and we're getting closer to the point where one of these is going to offer end-to-end fiber, basically, I think they call it synchronous service, but basically, they would bring the fiber right to your house. And what that would provide for is much greater bandwidth from each house. I'm not saying that this will, but eventually, when they have enough fiber around, I think we'll see some people offering that. But the prices they were quoting for competition for who's out there right now was substantially discounted and impressive compared to what some of the other providers provide right now for cable and internet. So we can only cross our fingers that actually happens sometimes. But I'll make a motion that we accept this MetroNet application,
Motion by Bennett,
supported by Ms. Hugo.
supported by Ms. Hugo. Trustee White.
Yes.
Trustee Hugo.
Yes.
Trustee Brown.
Yes.
Treasurer Yancho.
Yes.
Myself, yes. Supervisor Bennett.
Yes.
6-0, motion passes.
Thank you. And then future agenda items, if any board members or Mr. Lehman, anything that we're looking at for the next couple of meetings?
Yeah, actually, I just sent out an email right before I came down to the boardroom to the board. I've included a copy of the legal opinion that we got from Fahey Schultz Law Firm back in 2022 when the 911 Consortium and MedStar first started entering those agreements. I wasn't here 2 weeks ago for the meeting. I did watch it today. I saw the Executive Director of Genesee County Med Control Authority, Bruce Trevithick, get up and basically chastise Grand Blanc Township for not signing an exclusive agreement with an EMS company to provide exclusive services. We do have a couple of new board members. I think that it behooves us as this conversation continues and especially because they put that out in public, like we had somehow failed the public by not signing an exclusive agreement. I've got a whole host of legal opinions that were reviewed at that time, including by our own counsel, Anthony Chubb, who remains the 911 Consortium's counsel, that they believe those agreements are illegal. Not that you can't sign an agreement, you absolutely can, any municipality can sign an agreement and say, we want you to be our preferred provider or our provider, but you cannot change the direct dispatch method of dispatching the closest available ambulance. And there's no doubt at the time there was some frustrations and we were worried about times of ambulance service. But it was also during, and right after COVID, when no training were going on, the actual, lifespan of these EMS personnel tends to be about 3 years. They didn't do trainings for 2 years, so there was a real shortage. They had rigs, but no one to staff them. So there was a serious problem. My issue with Genesee County 911 Consortium is that they had no other solution. They didn't look at any other solution. They didn't discuss any other options. These exclusive agreements were presented. They were put out there, and the day that the board voted on them, they moved to change the agenda around to vote on the exclusive agreements before they reviewed the legal opinions, number one. And then number two, no discussion on the legal opinions. They called the vote. And limited any discussion whatsoever. So it seems to me if there was no worries or nothing to hide, it wouldn't have gone that way. I think it was really handled by a few people. I think we should put it on a future agenda. In fact, I'm recommending 2 weeks. I will send out all those legal opinions to the board so that you have a chance to review not just the one that we had completed, but what other municipalities and their council said about it, including Tony's. And I think it would be good because it was put out in public that we somehow had failed the public by not signing an exclusive agreement, that this board has a chance to talk about it, talk about those legal opinions. The legal opinions come back and say it's a violation of the direct dispatch method. You have to dispatch the closest available. And that is not what happens with those exclusive agreements. So I think we should have that conversation so that the public should rest assured. Grand Blanc Township has been at the forefront of this issue. We worked to bring all of these to all of the participating members of the 911 Consortium. Supervisor Bennett, as you know, is on the 911 Consortium Executive Board as the vice chair. I mean, we're well aware of this, and I was. Supervisor did a great job at the end of the meeting to kind of dispel what Mr. Trevithick had put out there. But I really took offense at that public comment, and I think it behooves us to just, maybe we're going to spend 20 or 30 minutes on it at a meeting to put the truth out there so people know that is not who we are. But we are not going to sign an agreement that lawyers tell us is an illegal agreement and violates the 911 Act on violation of the direct dispatch method.
I think, the first question I get when I tell people about this, or they ask, is, have we gotten an opinion from the Attorney General? Have we talked to the prosecuting attorney? And it's like, nobody wants to touch the issue. But I also ask, I hear people say, well, not all attorneys agree on this. I said, show me one opinion that says that this is acceptable. I have not seen one written. I hear rumors that, I talked to an attorney and they said, well, have them put it in writing. But I have not seen one legal opinion stating that how they're operating is within state statute. So I think it's a great idea that we have a thorough discussion on this again. And it'd be great to inform the public as well of where we stand on this and why we stand where we do.
Yeah, I mean, we all recognize that there are some issues with EMS services in Genesee County, but we should probably explore all available options to make sure that we look at the greatest level of service that we can provide at the least cost to the greatest number of people, right?
Yeah. I mean, we definitely want to make sure, the number one priority is making sure that our residents are protected and that they have the service that they need and that we're getting EMS service. But it's a problem throughout the state. It isn't just unique Genesee County.
I
So,
will also tell you that your new fire chief, Jamie Gent, well-versed in this matter, especially with EMS, I think he can be a real resource for us as we move forward, as we continue this conversation.
very good. We look forward to that. Okay, with that, yes. on future agenda items?
Yeah, I really think that we did a great job with the gas stations and the moratorium that we put on gas station development and subsequently changed the zoning ordinance. I'm looking for something on the same lines for takeout liquor licenses. We have, I think, more than enough takeout liquor licenses to service our residents, and I hate to see us have more than we need. So I'd just like to explore that.
I know with regard to the moratorium on gas stations, we asked the planning commission to study that issue. Is that what you would like to
Yeah,
have happen,
I think
Mr.
that'd be
Yancho?
appropriate action.
And I think Mr. White also asked to have something similar on new car dealerships, I believe, as well. So I guess we'll ask Mr. Limita to communicate that to, or,
I'll forward it on to Planning and Zoning Director Smith and let him know that you guys would like the Planning Commission to review it.
okay. I guess that's consensus of our board. I don't know, anybody have any issues with them researching that issue, those two issues? Okay. Moving down the list here, anything to report from Planning Commission?
No, I wasn't able to make it to the meeting last week.
Okay. I watched it briefly and some interesting things that they're proposing. One of them was the Ocker Mansion, doing something with that as far as a wedding venue. So it'll be interesting to see what happens from that. Anything in the Treasurer's Department, Mr. Yancho?
No.
Mr. Brown, anything that you want to bring up?
No, not today.
Okay.
Not today.
We'll get you going on the police committee when we have our first meeting coming up.
Nice.
Treasurer Robertson, anything? Clerk Robertson, I'm sorry. How'd the election go?
I'm happy to report that we had a very successful election, our sixth in a row, with the new format, with the early voting and everything else. We had a 55% vote by the public in support of the sinking fund renewal. The turnout was 14.7%, which was a significant increase from the last election of this type, largely due to the fact that we're now sending ballots out rather than having people request a ballot through application process. That's increased the turnout. The total number of, the grand total, among the AV voters, 3,254 yes, 1,792 no, and then on the election day itself, 420 yes, 139 no. Okay, so we had only 33 early voters for that 4-day period. Obviously, it varies depending upon the nature of the election and the amount of issues that are before the citizenry. But everything went very, very well. Kudos to my staff. They deserve the credit for all of it. Lynn and Reagan and everybody who contributed, Michelle and everybody who helped out to make it such a success. That's my report, Mr. Supervisor.
Very good. So it looks like the absentee voting is obviously more than double the number of people who voted.
Yes, it continues to be, we continue to see that evolution, if you will.
Okay. Mr. White, anything?
Just a question. I got somebody asked me about the planning commission meeting actually it was about that Ocker.
Yes.
We don't have any of our documents for that on our website. Is there a reason why we don't put planning commission materials on there?
I mean, well,
It's just the agenda.
the meeting that they had last week, the individuals were just here for discussion on it. There was no formal plan yet. They were just putting the idea out there. So I believe when it's on the agenda for more than just a discussion on the potential, there probably will be.
I'd gone back through multiple meetings and nothing was on any of them.
For any of the
Any planning
topics?
commission there was
aren't.
nothing. It was
The
just
packet.
agenda.
Are they still providing you a paper packet?
They drop it off at our house.
Yeah, that's been the issue, and we're trying to get that because it was just, that's the way it was handled, and so where we do everything electronically for the board and everybody can go and grab it and see the full packet, they've still been putting together paper packets and actually having someone go out and drop these packets off individually for the planning commission members. I'll bring it up with Jeremy because we just need to bite that bullet, right? Like, just move it forward, like, hey, they're electronic from now on. You know, you're going to have to move forward and grab those.
Yeah, I've had a little bit of discussion, and part of it, I know some of the people like to have the paper version of the blueprints so that they can look at them, but shouldn't prevent from having it electronically.
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, if they want to give it to the members in paper, I get that, but, I mean, if the
Having the
president wants to
blueprint
do it,
online.
right now, I think they pretty much either have to come to the meeting or probably go
Right.
and request it in person and get a copy. So,
Yeah, so Mr. Lemata will check into that and see if something can be done to accommodate people to look at that online.
I agree 100% with Trustee White. I think that it will lend some transparency to what we do as a planning commission and as a township.
Okay, well, let's see what we can do to move that along. Okay, with that, just a couple of things. We're working on the beautification right now, Ms. Roberts. We're looking for some additional sponsors for that, so if you know anybody that wants to help sponsor beautification, we're going to try and use more of the large planters as opposed to planting in the ground. But we're going to do some planting in the ground as well, but just in some specific areas. The DDA designated some funds for some beautification in their area, so that'll be a nice addition for this year. The DDA also approved paying some money to light the water tower down off Baldwin Road. We're looking at some quotes on the actual prices and trying to get those zeroed in a little bit better. Just a reminder to all the board members that make sure that you complete the evaluation for our superintendent, Mr. Lemata, and send those to me. And at our next meeting, we'll have a discussion on those, hopefully, if everybody has them in. With that, Mr. Lemata, anything to report on?
Next, in 2 weeks, we will do we'll do the bond resolution for the issue for the Wishing Well project, special assessment district project. That's about a $3 million project currently underway. We also have a little over $1 million, $1.2 million as sump collector. I'm going to ask the board to consider doing a notice of intent. Probably we'll take the CIP for the DPW Department for Water and Sewer projects, and then any anticipated special assessment districts that we have coming. So it may be a notice of intent for $5 million or $6 million, just to put it out there to let residents know that we have more projects coming up. At least from a transparency standpoint, we're putting in the paper, we're publishing it, hey, we've got more projects coming up. We want you to know that we intend to do further bond issues as they come up. It also allows us, then we can do a reimbursement resolution that allows us, if we start moving forward with some of these projects, we can expend some funds and then pay us back from the proceeds of the actual bond once we get the cash in.
Do we have multiple developments doing paving projects this summer, or?
Yeah, I mean, right now, we're waiting to get some back. We don't have anything moving. We know Orchard Haven is 2026, which is also a big, $3 million project. But we have a variety of ones that were under consideration. Green Knolls hasn't been forgotten about. It just got a little mishandled by the engineer's estimate from the road commission. So we're still working through that with the residents. Sorry, Melissa, of Green Knolls. And we're still waiting to hear back. Warwick's in the process. Territorial's in the process.
Couple other people have inquired, but those are the ones that
You want to crack your back, ride your bike down there.
go off.
Okay. All right. Very good. I know our, just on a separate issue, our code enforcement is busy out there with spring here. I know we're getting lots of feedback on our social media posts with regard to our ordinance on grass mowing, so that's interesting, comments there. But, and our mosquito abatement program's in full swing as well.
Well, I'm glad you said that. We got notice from Rose Pest Solutions, Mr. Supervisor, that talked about when they looked at the latest Eagle map on what's been designated wetlands, which means they can't treat them with larvicide, those biscuits that they do, once it gets designated as a protected wetland. So there's some areas that Rose likes to say, well, it's only 0.1% of the township, but the mosquitoes don't stay right over the wetlands areas. They actually breed from there and move out. I'm talking to them now about what other alternatives. We're going to have to do increased fogging in some areas, whatever. But areas that have been updated by Eagle as a protected wetlands, we can't treat the mosquito larvae like we have in the past. Unfortunately, I hate to say that there may be more mosquitoes in those areas than we've had in past years, but we'll continue to work with Rose to try to find an effective solution.
I think, managing expectations too with our abatement program is important, because I think it's a misnomer for people to think that our mosquito program, which I think comes out to about $20 a year per household, something like that. I know many of the services charge about $80 every 3 weeks to basically come to your property and fog your property, and that's just for maybe a quarter acre lot. So $80 at least once a month, like I say, every 3 weeks is what I've been looking at. So our program that the residents pay on average $20 a month, let's say, $20 a season, and their taxes is not going to come anywhere near a service that you're paying $80 a month for. So I think managing people's expectation on what an abatement program does, but then also we have the dichotomy of some people that would like us to basically, I'll exaggerate a little bit and say, crop dust our entire township, once a day with something that kills mosquitoes. That's not going to happen, because we also have to be conscientious that we don't want to kill every living insect.
I think we're a far cry from that.
And then on the other hand, we have to make sure that we're not doing enough too. On the other end of it. So there's a balance, and the federal government has lots of rules they have to follow as well. So anyways, we'll strike a balance, and we'll work with Rose to come up with what that balance is.
Through you, Mr. Supervisor, to Superintendent Limita, in your experience, do you ever remember Eagle removing any property from their jurisdiction?
Nope.
Thank you very much, Mr. Superintendent.
Yes. So with that, I'll entertain
Is
a
a motion in order
adjourn.
to adjourn, Mr. Supervisor?
It is.
Then I will make that motion.
Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned at 6:34.